Does everybody have their papers now? Everybody's got crayons. Everybody's ready, right? Tonight, we're going to try to fit in a whole lot of stuff in a little bit of time. So I need your listening ears and following directions, okay? What did we study about the first night? What was our first C? Nope. In the blue and white shirt. Creation. What color do you think of when you think of creation? Green. Does anybody see anything green in here? A lot of green, right? So that should remind you of creation. On your first block, write your C and color that first block green. Like this. Look, I didn't think of that. Okay, listen. While you're coloring, you need to listen to me. Can you color and listen? Yes? Was Dot our creator? Was it the Big Bang Theory? Do y'all remember Miss Sonia's lesson? Was Dot the one who created the earth? Who was our creator? God was. He made it all happen in 7 days. Well, 6 days, and the seventh day he did what? Yep, he rested because he had done a lot of stuff, right? What all did he create? What all did he create? Yes, he created man. Yes, he created Adam and Eve, and then it kept on going and going and going until what happened? He created the heavens and the earth. That's exactly right. Which brings us to our memory verse for day one. What was our memory verse on day one? We're all going to say it together. Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Are we ready to go to our second C? Y'all got your first one colored? What was the second C? Corruption. What happened during corruption? Do y'all remember? What was Mr. Gabe's lesson on? What was the corruption? What happened? How did sin come into the world? No, that was the catastrophe. We are not quite there yet. The corruption. They ate of the fruit that they were not supposed to eat of. What do we think of when we think of sin? Nope, not red. Black or dark. We think of darkness, right? The Bible tells us that sin is darkness. Are you coloring your next C black? Which is, I may have to uncover mine altogether. That's what I'm going to do. What is sin? It can be disobeying your parents, telling a lie, not behaving, not listening when you're supposed to, right? All those are sin, which brings darkness into our lives, right? Are we ready to go to the next C? No? Yes? What is our next C? Catastrophe. What was the C that was the catastrophe? The flood. Noah built the ark. And what happened? Is that all he did was build an ark? What happened? It did flood. But what was on the ark? Yes, God sent the animals 2 by 2 on there. That was Gwen's lesson. Remember her? No, that was not. That was Gabriel's still lesson. And what do you think of when you think of catastrophe? When it floods, what color are we going to color? Blue. Our next C is going to be blue for catastrophe. Do we know our memory verse for day 2? Anybody know the memory verse? It is Genesis. No, it's not. It is Psalms 14:3. Do we remember that? We have all turned aside. Together they have become corrupt. There is no one good, not even one. Which is why God flooded the earth, right? Adam and Eve, they created. But then people got wicked and mean because there was too much sin. So he said, we're going to start all over. So he flooded everything. Everything. There were no more mountains, no more land, no more trees, no more anything. He flooded it all and started all over again. What happened when he tried to do it again? He told Noah when he got off the ark to multiply, and he did. What did Gwen teach about last night? Do we remember? Confusion. What color do we think of when we think of confusion? Gray. So color your next C gray for confusion. Do you remember how he confused everybody? They were going to build a Tower of Babel that was going to take them all the way to heaven. They thought they were going to build a building all the way to heaven. Do you think they could do that? No? So what did God do when he saw they were going to do that? He mixed up their languages, right? Then they had to go. This group of people started their families over here, and this one started it over here, and this one started it over here. And everybody was scattered about because what was it? They didn't scatter. Remember Gwen said they were supposed to scatter and multiply the earth, and they wanted to stay all right there? Do y'all remember that? Yes? What was our memory verse for last night? Does anybody know? I know you said it earlier, right? It's Genesis 11:9. Therefore, its name was called Babel, because there the Lord confused all the language of all the earth, and from there the Lord dispersed them all over the face of all the earth. Do y'all remember that one? Does anybody remember that verse? You got it memorized? Awesome. I know somebody's already told it to Miss Taylor, so I know somebody's getting a prize tonight. Are we ready to learn our next C? That will be a new topic for tonight. Are y'all ready? Yeah. What is it? Christ. That's our new C. What color do we think of when we think of Christ? White, because he's clear. He is pure. He had zero sin. Listen, are y'all listening to me? Listen, I'm not going to talk over you. Was Jesus a man on earth? Where was he born? No, Bethlehem. When do we celebrate his birthday? Christmas. That's right. But he was born a baby. Where did he come from? Where had he lived until he was born in Bethlehem? Nope, not in the barn. That's where he lived after he was born. He lived in heaven. That's where he was all along. He was there when the creation happened. He was there when the catastrophe happened. He was there when the corruption happened. He was there through it all, right? Why did he come to earth? Who knows why he came to earth? Why he came down here to live? That's right. That was his whole purpose. Listen. He came to earth just to die. How many of y'all want to be born just to die? Is anybody willing to stand up and die for me? Gabriel, you're not allowed to answer. You're going to die for me? You don't know me. You think so? Well, good job. I don't know that I could. When I think about, would I send my only child? I have 2 daughters. Would I be willing to give them up to save anybody here? Would y'all be willing to give up your mom or dad to save anybody here? Would y'all send them to be killed knowing that he was going to die? There's very few of us that would be able to do that. But God sent his only son just for that purpose. And he lived on this earth approximately 32 to 34 years and never sinned, not one time. How many of y'all have ever, never, ever sinned? I bet you have. Have you told a fib? Did you tell your mommy no if she said not to do something? I bet you have sinned. Because we all have. We're all sinners. We all fail God every single day. Which brings us to the cross. Christ came to die on the cross. Why did he come to die on the cross? To save you. It was his blood, which makes us think of red. And you're going to color your cross. Your cross block is going to be red. His blood washed us white as snow. He took our sins. You know, when he was hanging on that cross, he knew your name. He knew that one day you would be here at Vacation Bible School in 2024. That's pretty awesome. When I think Jesus was on the cross and he thought of me, little old me from Mayodan, North Carolina. Who am I? Who are you that he would die for you? Did he do anything to die for you? I mean, did he sin? He didn't sin. Do you understand what that means? That means if mom and daddy say, no, you can't have a cookie, and you go get a cookie anyway, and dad comes in and catches you, and little sister comes in there and says, I'm going to take his punishment. Why would she do that? Why would they do that? They didn't have to. Do you think they want punishment? Who wants to be punished for something they didn't do? You do? Well, we'll make sure you get a paddling after a while for no good reason, okay? You don't want to get in trouble for something you didn't do. If mom and daddy's fussing at you and your little brother or sister do it, don't you say, no, they did it. It wasn't me. Because you don't want to take that punishment, right? What can you do that Jesus can live in your heart? Who knows? You got to do more than tell the truth. Number one, you have to admit that you're a sinner. All of us sinned and come short of the glory of God. All of us have sinned. The pastor sins. I sin. Your group leaders here have all sinned. Everybody in this church building has sinned. Just because you come to church doesn't mean that you don't sin no more. So first you have to admit that you have sinned. 2, you have to believe. You have to believe that Jesus was born, he died, and he did what on the 3rd day? What did he do on the 3rd day? That's right. So we serve a living God. What's the 3rd thing you have to do? Starts with the C. Since we're on our C's, you have to confess your sins. You have to go to God and tell him, yes, I know I'm a sinner, but I believe in you and I want you to come live in my heart. But that decision you can only make Mama can't make it, Daddy can't make it, Grandma can't make it, Grandpa can't make it, Aunt, Uncle. You have to be able to make that decision. Our last C is going to be what? Consummation. The pastor is going to bring that lesson tomorrow, but we are going to go ahead and color that block yellow. But before I finish up, if anybody in here wants to know a clearer explanation of how to ask Jesus into your heart, anybody with these green shirts, you ask, you come see myself, you come see the pastor. We will walk you through step by step of what you need to do to ask Jesus in your heart and in your life. Because guess what? You don't go to live with Jesus if you don't have him in your heart. Where do you go if you don't have him in your heart? You go live with the devil. Does any of us want to live with the devil? It's not fun down there. You hear people say, oh, I'll be down there with my friends. They ain't going to know their friends are there because they're going to be tormented so bad that it's not going to matter. In heaven, you will know your friends. You will be with Jesus Christ. You will be with all the disciples that were right alongside Jesus. Who doesn't want to do that? Do you want to be singing and worshiping God for the rest of your life when you die? Or do you want to die and go to hell? Think about that question as we get ready to go on to our next stations. But please come see somebody in a green shirt if you have any questions whatsoever, or if you're not sure if you've got Jesus in your heart. We can come help you with that as well. All right? Thank y'all for being great listeners.